Hello and welcome back to DM Online. Today we're going to continue our project and perhaps we'll even finish it. So at this point in time we have laid down drums with the automatic drummer, we have laid down a guitar using the bass guitar as the main feature of the song, and we have laid down some vocals with the help of a vocalizer to harmonize ourselves. So at this point we just have the looping section to continue, which I'm going to add a layer of MIDI to on the second loop, and then a wrap up end to the whole piece of music, so that the video, after it's finished doing the looping process, can have an exit to the video background music. So it'll be a repeat of the jingle with a few little alterations. So let's get into it. Here we go. First of all, we want to actually test the loop to make sure that the bass part seamlessly connects from one section to the next. If there's any lump at all, this piece of music will not work as background music. It needs the seamless continuation through the music. So I'm going to create another amplifier that is exactly the same as the one that's already there. And then I'm going to duplicate the bass part on the new amplifier and position it exactly underneath the other one, so I can see that the two line up, and extend the drum part. So first of all, if I control click the substation, you'll find the new track with duplicate settings. So that allows me to create a track that is exactly the same as the amplifying settings of the first track. And the second thing I need to do is select the guitar part that I want to duplicate and hold down my option key and then drag down, and that will create a duplicate of that part. And then the third thing is to drag it along so that it lines up precisely in the right beat position with the next part of my loop. So this must be exact. You need to check it and zoom in on it and make sure it is precise. Okay, and to finish off, we just need to stretch it out so that the drums actually play it through to the end, and we can also just remove that last beat of the original bass part, because theoretically the bass beat should pick up in the next section seamlessly without having that overlay of two basses playing the same note. Okay, let's test it out. Here we go. Now that we know that the loop is functional and works effectively, I'm going to put a new layer on top of the second section for some contrast. It's still background music, so I'm not aiming to play melodically. I just want to put some sort of pad in to add a bit of atmosphere and a little bit of variation to the sound. So I'm going to use a small MIDI keyboard attached to my computer and add a MIDI channel onto the track list. So in order to do that, I need to hit the plus button, and I need to bring in a software instrument. And once the software instrument is in, I need to choose a suitable sound that's going to work with this. And I'm a bit of a fan with jazz style of the vintage Pt3 organ. The jazz organ, it just has a nice timbre to it, so I'm going to add some jazz organ in. In setting up the recording, I've just reduced the amount of time that it's going to take by taking the recording from a looped section rather than taking the whole recording. So this will come in just after the vocals, and I'm only going to play on the second round, not the first round of the bass line. Okay, I think that works. So I guess the only thing left now is to find a way to take us out of the two loops into the finale, the closing part of the show. The way I see the ending is like a tag line, like you get in jazz when you play the last few bars a couple of times and then you're out. But I want it to be a little bit more compact than that. So I'm going to select the last portion of the song that goes after the little section we just put the MIDI in with. I'll extend the drum so that I've got a drum beat. It's not going to be like used as the drum beat I'm just currently putting in, because my thought is that I will need to cleverly shape the drums to have the right hits with the bass line and then the last bit with the vocals. So I'm going to go set up the bass and get into recording the bass part for the finale part of the song. Now that the bass track is down for the ending, I need to do some minor edits to the other parts. And now that that part is in, I'm also tempted to add another little bit of MIDI keyboard just at the ending to round it off. So first thing I need to do is just reduce that drum track. And I want to try and get it to land on the same beat as that long bass note. If that doesn't work, I will have to go off camera, have a little play and come back. And then we just need to add some MIDI chords to that last little descent in the bass part. Okay, so let's go back to our MIDI instrument. Once I put the vocals in, I think we almost have a finished product. So my last edit is to transfer the vocal part from the beginning to the end into that gap that I've created. And I may need to shift that final little chord. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to go off camera, work it so that the timing works, and then I will come back and deliver the final results. See you soon. Okay, so I've spent a little bit of time just cleaning up the finish of this. The things that I've managed to achieve, basically I created a slightly more aggressive drumming in the descending part with the organ and the bass. The notes in the bass and the organ, the hits right at the end, were positioned just slightly different to match up with the vocals, and there's a drum hit in the end which I ended up having to bounce the soundtrack out of GarageBand, because one of the problems with the automatic drummer is you can't shift off the beats where the metronome lands. And because the developing Musicianship Online part was not a precise position with the metronome, the two hits I wanted were not going to happen. So I have created an audio track, and that audio track has allowed me then to drop it exactly where I want it, instead of being restricted by the metronome with the automatic drummer. So this is how it all came out. Here we go. DM, developing musicianship online. Developing musicianship online. And that's it. So next time you hear a show from me, it's going to have new music. And next time I'll go through some further options we could go into with effects and correcting balance and things like that. So, till next time, see you later. Bye bye.